14.4. Within this video, I'll be explaining the strengths and weaknesses that both me and my participants identified during my session. I will also be stating the changes and adaptations I had to make within the session for it to run more smoothly. I will also be looking back at the session and stating what I could have changed if I did my session again. I will also research a course which could help me improve my session and help me gain skills if I did the session again. At the end of the video, I'll go into detail about 3 SMART targets which I feel are relevant for me and that I would like to achieve. So firstly, here on the slide we have my peer review. So the participants came up with 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses which they thought I did during the session. So the 3 strengths were that I was a good communicator, I was motivating, and finally that I came up with good modifications for each station of the circuit. The weaknesses that they gave me were that I had poor organisation, the group weren't very engaged, and finally that I didn't make clear coaching points. These strengths and weaknesses were identified within the feedback sheets which I handed out during the end of the session, at the end of the session. So next I have my self-review. So I started off with saying my strengths, and I came up with that I was good at using the space that was given to me. I thought I communicated well with the participants, which included me motivating them, and also I thought I told them improvements to their techniques. And my last strength was that I came up with good modifications for each station of the circuit, which made sure that progression was occurring throughout the session. So here I have my weaknesses, which I thought was organisation, timings. So I thought that I could have not made the participants work so long because they weren't working to the best of their ability, and also I didn't feel like I had very good I felt like the group weren't very interested in my session, which meant that I found it hard to control the group. So here we have 3 adaptations which I had to make during the session. The first thing was the warm-up. I had to change the warm-up to involve the participants more. So I thought that by doing this I would engage them more and motivate them more. So I got them to suggest static and dynamic stretches to give them an input. Then I also changed the exercises. However, these were only changed if necessary. For example, if a participant couldn't skip with a skipping rope, I made changes to the exercise. They could do jumping jacks, which was still working the same body muscles and things, but it was just an adaptation. The last thing I changed were the timings at which the participants were at each station, because I felt like the participants were finding it hard to work for 1.5 mins at a time. So I reduced the time so that they were working for less time but a higher intensity. So on this next slide I show things which I would have changed if I redid the session. The first thing would be the time at each station. So I would plan for the participants to be at each station for 40 seconds, at which they were working at higher intensity. I would then increase the amount of times they did the circuit. So instead of just doing the circuit 2 times, I would have made them do it 4 times, as then overall they would have been working for the same period of time. So next I would have changed the warm-up. This is because I felt like at the beginning I needed to gain control, so I wanted to engage the participants with a more fun warm-up, and I found that the warm-up was a key start to showing that I had control of the group and that the participants were engaged. So if I had a more engaging warm-up, they may have been involved for the more engaged for the whole activity. final thing that I would have done differently was how hard I was making the participants work, so the intensity at which they were working at. I feel that I was motivating, however, I feel like I could have pushed them harder so that they were working at to the best of their ability. To help improve my coaching, I have researched the Sports Leadership Level 3 qualification. This course is recognised nationally and it enables people to lead purposeful and enjoyable sports and activities. I believe that this course would be suitable for me, as I would learn how to communicate in the correct ways to ensure participants are engaged, and also I feel that the course would help me as an individual learn how to gain knowledge and plan sessions in the correct way to ensure that they are enjoyable and effective for different participants and their different needs. Within the course, I will gain knowledge on the different units which are studied, and these are as followed. So, developing leadership skills, to plan and lead and evaluate a sports slash physical activity, to lead safe sports or physical activity sessions, to plan, lead and evaluate sports or physical activities for kids, plan, evaluate or lead sports physical activity sessions for the community, for the disabled or for elderly people. This course will be taken for an overall time of 126 hours. Within this 126 hours, 60 hours will be tutor time and 30 hours will be demonstration of leadership. So to partake in this course, £52 will have to paid, and at the end you will be awarded your Sports Leadership Level 3 qualification. So finally on this screen I have come up with 3 SMART targets which I have chosen for myself. The first one, as you can see, is a short-term target. This is to be able to lead an improved version of my session within the next 2 weeks. Within the session, I intend to be more organised and have my group more engaged with my activity. So next we can see that this is my medium-term target, and this is to be able to watch and observe several other sessions run by other people. From this, I aim to gain knowledge and ideas which I could use to help improve my session. I also feel like with observing other sessions, it would help me gain confidence as I'd know how other people run sessions. The final is my long-term target. So this will be completed within the next year. So this is to complete my level 3 leadership course which I talked about earlier. By doing this, I will gain new skills which will help me become a better leader and hopefully run a better session. That's all.